So hello everyone, today I am going to be teaching you something which is known as the Caro-Kann Defense. So the Caro-Kann Defense is usually a very good opening. So let's see what the Caro-Kann Defense is. So now as a normal player, if white pushes his pawn to e4 and you really don't like opening like e5 because it gets complicated into the London system or into the Ruy Lopez, so you can play the very simple and strategic c6 known as the Caro-Kann defense. Now there are many ways for white to play here. The most played move here in this position is pawn to d4, gaining the whole center as white, and here black has to fight for the center and plays the move pawn to d5, attacking the center and making attention over here. And here either people will push your pawn or they will develop their knight. So today I am going to teach you the advanced variation of the Caro-Kann. So in this position, white will push his pawn to e5 and say that now you cannot develop your knight on your original f6 square, and this pawn is a little overextended but can be defended in the future with this f and d pawns. Now we should either play the move bishop f5, which is also known as the Caro-Kann defense advanced variation, or we can play a move c5. Now c5 is a very good move, but for beginners and intermediate players, after they play something like c3, this may get into another variation which is also known as a advanced French defense after the move e6. Henceforth I am not going to be telling you about the c5 line, and I am going to be telling you about the bishop f5 line. The bishop f5 line is a very good line. It attacks the c2 pawn and it's a very good opening. Now white primarily plays knight f3, developing a knight and defending its central pawns. Here we should play e6. We are trying to make move for the c5 break. So usually white plays bishop development to e2, and then black responds with the move pawn c5, trying to undermine white's center. Here we mostly reply with c3. This move is just for defending the pawn, and black should never take this pawn, as this is not good for them because these two are getting stuck. They won't go forward, and these two are really strong on these squares. So the best move here is just to develop the knight to the c6 square and attack this pawn. And here most probably white will castle, and the main plans of this opening is to develop the knight, get the bishop behind, develop the knight from h6 to f5, and just keep the tension here. If he ever takes this pawn, you can just take and you will have a very good position like this. So he will never take. Another move, what if he doesn't play c3 and defends his pawn? What if he plays bishop e3, saying that I'm also defending my pawn and counter attacking your pawn? So in this move, in this position, you have a very counter aggressive and attacking move, queen b6. And if he takes, you can take, and you are still keeping the tension in the center, which is very main for the Caro-Kann. Here there are several moves for white, like castles and lose the pawn on b2, or a very complex line goes to c4, but most of the players in 1-7 to 1-9 range won't play this move because this goes into a very complicated line after queen takes b2. So after this, if they think, oh, I have made a wrong decision, let's just go back, then you can just develop your knight on c6, and see, the computer engine already likes your position. So most players place bishop c1, and if they play b3, just develop your knight. You are still maintaining the tension, and if they ever take this, just takes, and your position is so strong now that not now even a computer likes your position. It's minus 1.43 for black. And from here it's just normal chess. You try to win this pawn by pushing this pawn and win this. See, now most probably after the move c4 you play d4 and attack this pawn, and they will try they cannot defend this pawn as it's cannot be defended, so they will eventually lose this pawn and they will be a pawn down, and it will be a very easy game for you to play moves and win the game. So that's all for today. This is also known as the French defense advanced variation. And guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This video will help you for your chess tournaments and for your chess career. Thank you.